What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you can hear me. We are outside hanging out by the pond. Sophie's over munching on some fruit, just giggling away, and Tucker's just waiting for her to drop some fruit. But as you saw though, we updated the filter on our pond, and I want to take you guys through how I did it, because honestly, it took me less than an hour and it created something way better. You want to come say cheese? So how we created this new filter is using a metal stock tank. Okay, you can get down. So we were using a plastic tote from Home Depot, one of the black plastic totes with the yellow lid, and it worked for the time being. I used some 1-inch bulkheads and honestly kind of like a tool tray to make a waterfall off of it, but it was unsightly. And it honestly was not the best it could be. The spray bar in it worked, but it didn't hold a lot of water volume, so it wasn't necessarily about the filtration capacity as much as it was like the looks. My wife hated it, definitely wanted an upgraded filter. So we built this. So using a metal stock tank, which I picked up from Tractor Supply. It's the 4-foot long one, it's like 2 feet wide. It's only like 12 inches tall, so it's relatively easy to fill in with lava rock. It allowed me to use plant filtration on this instead of just relying on the lava rock of it. So I've had a ton of algae grow in the pond, and I've done some videos of that where we clean the pond out, pulling all the hair algae out. And the hair algae doesn't really bother me actually, because it looks pretty natural, but I like the look of this new stock tank and having plants on top of the filter to where you can now, hopefully they're gonna grow across the filter, grow over it. So it adds a new level of cleanliness. It looks a lot nicer than the black, tote I had up there previously. So it was a relatively simple build. So using the stock tank, I then bought a 2-inch shower drain that had a 2-inch connection fitting, just a stainless steel shower drain that's designed to be glued to PVC pipe. Traced where it needed to fit into my stock tank, and then literally using a drill and shears, some tin snips I think they are, I was able to cut the hole out and just mash the drain in that hole. Then using some epoxy putty on the inside of it, it created a perfect seal. Now water does not leak out of the filter anywhere, and it only drains out over the overflow of it. And then having that stainless steel shower drain on the back of it is going to stop anything from leaving the filter I don't want it to. I put it there just to keep the lava rock in case anything else gets trapped in the filter. Hopefully it kind of helps stop it from entering down into the pond where it could potentially damage my pump. So having that though, it was so easy to do, so simple to do, did not require any major tools or anything. And my daughter's bringing me a rock right now. What'd you find? That's a big rock, baby. Okay, so it's having this set up now. And the nice thing too is I did not have to change the spray bar that fed the filter. I was able just to loop it up over the side and kind of drape it into the stock tank, and it still works the way I wanted it to. It didn't cause anything, I didn't disrupt any biological filtration. I took all the old lava rock and put it back in, but I honestly added another like 30 pounds of lava rock in there. So there's even more biological capacities. But the hope is as the plants grow, that they're gonna help bring out the nutrients in the pond, keep the algae down where I can actually see the fish more. But then I've been able to increase the flow rate of my pump. So now I'm getting even a stronger turnover in the pond. So all in all, this was a really good build, and it honestly, this is going to be for the benefit of the pond. What blew away? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go find it. Go look for it. Okay, I'm sorry. So the most expensive part of this build was the stock tank. It was about $80 from Tractor Supply versus the $10 or $15 for the black tote. So you gotta weigh the pros and cons of it. The black tote works really well, and I was a little lazy and I just didn't want to build a box to go over it out of wood. But I really like having air plants now in the filter where I can see that So I picked up some cheap plants from Home Depot. I have no idea if they're actually gonna do well up in the filter, so they're growing out of water, but the roots may have to adapt to the water of that nature and things to make sure it's working the way I want it to. But all in all, I am really, really pleased with how this came out to be. And it was the most simple build on this actually. This was actually easier to do than when I built the black tote filter, because drilling 3 holes for 3 bulkheads and then getting everything to line up was impossible. Where using the shower drain and literally just circling it, 10 snips out, and then just mashing it in there worked out so well and created a really good seal. And I say using that epoxy putty made it even better. So this all in all has made my pond way more enjoyable to be out here now. I love the sound, it's soothing. My wife no longer tells me that it's an eyesore. She likes that the metal brings in a new design to it. There's the plants in it. And I'm really thinking about experimenting, trying to use the filter as like a mini pond, because the way it's set up, there's plenty of water volume in the tank before it drains out in the pond that I realistically, if I wanted to, I could pull out about 10 pounds of the lava rock, give more room up in the filter, not disrupt any biological in the pond, and then have like a little mini pond I can do something up there with. So it's all things I'm looking at, but even the added water volume in the stock tank now increased the pond to where this is honestly probably close to a 450 gallon pond now versus the original 400 gallons, just because so much water got pulled up into the stock tank for the filtration capacity. But yeah, super simple build. And I recommend, if you're doing a larger pond, look at using air plants in your filtration if you can. It adds a fun flair to it, adds a fun new aspect to it. So let me know down in the comment section below how you like to filter your ponds. Are you on air filtration? Do you have overhead filtration? Do you use plants? Do you not use plants? I like to learn from you guys what you guys have going on. So we still just have the goldfish in this pond. I may add something up to that second, the new mini pond, the filter for it. So curious what you guys have going on, and thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next one.